Hello, you join me today from the kitchen. I've been told I've got to make these videos more concise by my wife. She had a little look at the other ones, and that was her view. So this is my attempt at that. Um, in today's video, I wanted to, because something that she said, I aren't naming her because I don't know if she wants to be named. Uh, she said, well, have you told people about the book? Like, and I've sort of said, oh, how many pages and words and blah 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 journey. Uh, but I thought I'd actually tell you a bit about the book, and in the future videos, I'll perhaps look to read little excerpts or whatever the word is, little sections of the book. So in this video, yeah, about the book. So the book is basically, it starts, the first chapter is before we leave England. So we travel to where my wife lives or lived, where her, because we set off from her parents' house. So basically bought a Nissan X Trail and a caravan off this guy from Dunstable, um, and just put the caravan on and just set forth and hit the road. Took a ferry from Portsmouth to Santander, drove from Santander across Spain, and then arrived in the Castelo Branco region, which, if anyone knows about the Branco region, they know. If you know, you know. Um, and that's where the journey kind of starts, basically. So we intermittently live at the land in this caravan that we tow onto the land. And rented an apartment in Castelo Branco, because Castelo Branco is a region and also a city in the region of Castelo Branco. So it was about I think it was about 20 kilometers away, the city Castelo Branco, from the land, which was in a village, near a village called Malpica de Tejo. Uh, and the first part of the book is really about sort of the trials and tribulations, and perhaps say how we arrived very excitedly to to set to work on whatever the land would look like. Like we had water tanks, like we had a cooker, and we got some food on the way, across the border. So we had sort of a self-contained setup, you might say, to sort of start things off. And then yeah, I suppose I kind of slowly introduce what led me to buying the land and sort of a bit of my journey. It's kind of a bit of a love story, with how our love was kind of developing. Then we weren't married at that point, uh, and kind of what you go through with someone when you're just on a piece of land. There's no glorification of it. It had no running water, and how we kind of tried to fix some of the issues that we encountered. And we were quite naive, to be honest, but yeah, so that was kind of how it started. And that I sort of describe the Castelo Branco region, and we went on some nice kind of walks or hikes. People call a hike a walk, and odd, a long walks. Um, I knew it might happen during this video. We've just had a hob delivered because our one is broken, so I had to nip off and deal with that. So yeah, start off in this sort of like little insular world where we were just sort of spending, say, 3 or 4 days at the land at a time, going to the apartment and kind of contrasting this, city form of living. Castelo Branco is quite you, you don't get a more relaxed city than Castelo Branco, but it was certainly a lot more urban than life on the land. And we kind of started to discover the wider region, to be fair. And yeah, it was quite interesting. There was some discussions about what we need to do next, and I'd say that discussion kind of continued throughout the trip. The trip was kind of naturally broken up by my wife's parents came about 6 weeks into the trip for a holiday, so we spent a few weeks with them. So we explored sort of wider Portugal at that point. We then spent some days in the Castelo Branco region before following them to a place that they'd rented out near Tamar. So we stayed with them for a couple of weeks. Then they left, and then we had a couple of weeks, and we went down sort of out towards Alentejo, or we were in Alentejo, sort of before Tamar, Coimbra, etc. I made a mistake actually. We stayed with my wife's family near Coimbra, and then we on our own we then travelled to Tamar and down to Alentejo before then just below Lisbon in a place called I'll have to. It was very near Villa Nova Milfontes. That's where it was near. And then my dad came over after a few weeks, and we stayed just above Lisbon in a village called Magarito, and travelled up to Porto with him, and then back to Castelo Branco, and then he left, and then I won't spoil it because there's then some gaps that I don't want to kind of give away because they're kind of say important to the story and the dilemmas we faced and but yeah, so that's kind of a bit of an introduction to the story anyway. In the future videos I think I'm gonna read some excerpts and start to promote the actual content of the book, and then just see where it goes. I know these videos aren't getting heaps of views at this moment. I thought about maybe promoting them to see if I can attract a wider audience, but perhaps I need to make the videos a bit more concise. And yeah, I'd just sort of implore you, as I've said in previous videos, please try to get the message going. Like it'd be, something else. And another video I'd like to record is about having a real DIY ethic with this and trying to make this happen without a publisher and just trying to order books, sell books, build that relationship with the reader. Because the absolute goal would be that I could do that, and that would kind of be quite a self-sufficient enterprise. But it's very early stages, obviously, and I've just simply got all this material for this book that I want to make available to people. So that's where it's at. But yeah, subscribe, people doing all this stuff. Please feel free to give me feedback or anything you'd like to hear about, any questions, or it's very much like flying the plane as I'm building it, as it were. So early days, just trying to kind of build a bit of a picture, a bit of a world of this book, and then see where it goes. So thanks very much, and see you in a future video. Thanks very much. Bye.